Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to another session. It's such a great privilege to be here today, and I'm so excited to be back here on this program today. Welcome to our show. Last week, we dove into branding and marketing strategies, and from our guest last week, that was Kike. We uncovered some ways in which you can sharpen your message, how you can stand out in a crowded care marketplace, and a whole lot of strategies. If you missed that, you can always go back and catch a replay. Just watch our videos, and you will always learn something. Thank you so much for joining us once again today. Let's do it again today. So, we're shifting gears. This topic that we'll be discussing today is something that is very important and paramount in the American environment, and it's very important for every individual and every business. I will be talking about taxes. How do you handle your taxes like a boss? Joining us today is a seasoned professional in this subject, Bumi. And Bumi is a seasoned tax advisor, and she has decades of experience helping individuals and businesses to stay compliant with their taxes. And she will be joining us today to discuss strategies, how you're going to go about organizing your records, how you can communicate with your auditors, and basically just how for you to be audit confident, how to be confident with your tax matters. So grab your notepad. It's going to be a very informative session. You can always write your questions down, and let's get started. Let's dive right into it. Bumi, Bumi will be joining us. Yes. Thank you so much. Good evening and
Good
welcome.
evening. Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to
Please,
be part of the team
yes.
and explaining how we can handle our audit like a boss. So, good evening,
Yes.
everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for joining us. So Bumi is the founder of Jeje Tax, and it's going to be a great ride, and you're going to learn a lot. So Bumi, you have the floor. You can just take it away.
All right. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Wherever you're from, welcome. It's a pleasure to talk to you all today. I know everybody just finished all their taxes. So now it's time to get back to work. So audit, everybody gets scared when they get an audit letter. Please don't be. The IRS is not trying to target you or look after you. I'm going to explain to you how audit works. So there's a couple different type of reasons why you get audited. First of all, the IRS uses a computer system to pick who they're going to audit. So the computer system is called discriminate income functions. It's we call it DIF. That's the acronym for the system. So the system picks randomly based on information that we report. For example, somebody can get picked because they're in a specific industry, and then that industry, they need to audit that industry because it's new. For example, crypto. So maybe they want to audit a certain percentage of the crypto industry just to kind of understand the business better, and then see how things work. So a lot of the audit, why you get picked for audit, most of the time is by the computer, nothing personal. And then another reasons why you may have gotten picked for an audit may be because somebody else got audited, and then some of your stuff came up. So then that is because of an investigation, then you may have gotten audit because of that, just to kind of understand stuff better. So in any situation, the first thing you need to do when you get that audit letter is to consult somebody, you know, react, because everything, once you get audited, we have timeline to respond to letters, and we have timeline to get things done. So let's not be afraid. So let's understand why we get audited and how we can prevent us being audited, right? So I have a little quick checklist, and then we'll go over it. The first tips I want to give you is, one, understand the selection process. So why we being selected? Let's understand why, right? So like I told you previously, we get selected buy a computer system. It's a computer program. So don't let this scare you. The computer picks you. Most of the audit is because of computers. You got picked, right? The second thing, sorry. Uh, the second reason, LLC tend to be audited more frequently than incorporated companies, just because there's a lot more LLC out there because of the numbers. So sometimes we advise people to get incorporated because that kind of reduce your audit risk. But LLC is not being targeted. It's just like there's a lot more LLC out there, so they tend to kind of get audited. So we always tell people when it's time, get incorporated. That's one. The second thing is include explanation to when you file your tax return. If something is unusual for your business or something that is very high in your business, include explanation why or break it down into the smaller buckets, right? The next tip I have is know what is often questioned, like what raises red flag. I'm going to give you guys an example. For example, somebody made $40,000 and they're a salesman, but their travel expense is $60,000. Like the computer is going to be like, okay, you're making 40, you're spending 60 to make 40, and it's happening year after year. So that would raise some kind of red flag. So then is it a business, or like, what is the reason? But it could be a legitimate reason. It may not be a legitimate reason, but we'll talk about how we can defend, or how we can document ourselves. So when we do get audited, we're prepared, right? So my next tip is know when to file. Know when your tax deadline is. Make sure you file or you extend yourself on time. So it depends on what type of business you have. You may have different tax deadlines. Okay. So most tax deadline is March 15th, April 15th. And then if you extend, it's probably October or September 15th. But it all depends on what you file and how you requested for your tax deadline. So I wouldn't know that except when I know your specific details, right? The second thing is check your math. Make sure that your accounting processes is accurate and you have documentation for what you put on your tax return. Remember, it is our responsibility as a business owner that we know what is included in our tax return. I talk to a lot of business owners and they're like, oh, I don't know. I just gave somebody my thing and they put this number there. It's not that somebody's responsibility. It is you as a business owner, because you sign on the dotted line. So guess what? You are held responsible for whatever is reported to the IRS. So please take accountability for your business and for what is being reported on your behalf. I don't know, it's not a valid excuse. Okay? All right. Next. My next tip is be exact and be neat. Use exact number, don't estimate. For example, you pay gas bill 12 times a year. The average may be 200. Don't come and tell me your gas bill is 1600. No, know the exact number. The more we can match exact, the better off where we are when we come to audit. For example, a gas bill is something that you pay every month. So it's easy for you to go to your bank account or to go to whatever source that you use to pay it and give us the exact amount. The more exact amount, or the more accurate we are, the less audit risk we have. The more we're estimating, you should not be estimating on your return, except if you don't, for some reason, you don't have that source document, then yeah. But you should be as exact as you can be on your returns. Okay. Don't leave nothing blank. So often we leave some things blank, or we put too many numbers in it. So please explain. There's no such thing as too much explanation when it comes to your tax return, especially when you have unusual numbers or unusual business expenses or unusual business dealings that they may not understand. Right? So as a business owner, it is your right to run your business the way you deem necessary. So any expenses that you put on your business needs to be ordinary, necessary business expense. As long as we can defend that ordinary, necessary, and it's for your business, then we can deduct it. So there's no right or wrong way. As long as it's related to the business and it's ordinary and is necessary to do your business, then you can deduct it. I'll give you an example. Like if my business is Pinkalicious and everything in my business needs to be pink. So if I'm buying everything pink or however it is, but as long as it's related to my business. So if I buy a pink chair and it's $5,000, guess what? It's because it fits with my business plan and with the way I want to do business. And I'm buying, so pink pen, I have custom pink things everywhere. Guess what? Because of my business and the way I'm running my business is related to my business. So those expenses are allowable or deductible. So just keep that in mind that whenever we're doing business expenses, it needs to be ordinary, necessary, and related to the business. Okay? So those are all the tips that I have to kind of like avoid audit. So now let's talk about let's talk about other things that may cause your return to be audited or to be looked at, right? One is reporting too many losses. Okay, you have a business for the last 3 years, you've had a loss. Okay, so those type of business get audited because the key differences between they get audited and then they may reclassify you as a hobby if you keep having a loss. Of like, okay, why is this business keep having a loss? If you don't have a good reasons for it, they may reclassify your business as a hobby. So kind of look at it like, why you having a loss? Is this a necessary loss, or like, why is the business having a loss? That doesn't mean your business did not have a loss, but it's like that is a trigger for an audit, especially after the third year when you keep having significant losses. Like the losses keep growing. Like the first year was 10,000, next year is 20,000, the next year is 30,000. That will trigger an audit for you. Okay. The second thing is high deduction that don't match your income. For example, the example that I gave you earlier, and I said if somebody was making about $20,000 as a consultant, but their travel expense is like $60,000. That doesn't make sense. You can't be traveling for $60,000 and only making 20. So your income is not even matching your travel expenses. So those are the things that the computer will throw out. So that would trigger an audit. That doesn't make sense, right? Okay. Sorry, mine. Okay. The next thing is not reporting all your income. You have to report all your income as a business owner. So, for example, you're an independent contractor, you get 1099 from various parties, and you forgot to report a couple of them in the category, then guess what? You didn't report all your income and you're supposed to. So that would trigger an audit. That is the one of the highest thing that trigger an audit that I see. It's unreported income. So take your time, make sure you get all your documents, all the people that paid you, especially when you're an independent contractor. Make sure you get all your 1099, review it, and if a 1099 doesn't belong to you, report it, and then find if you go to a good tax expert, they know how to report it and zero it out before you can get it corrected, or get it corrected as soon as possible, right? Okay. The second type of businesses that they tend to audit is businesses that are cash heavy, because there seem to be a lot of reasons why cash heavy businesses don't report all their income. So those type of businesses gets to get audited a little bit more frequently, right? So like I said again, most of the audit is random selection. So you're not being targeted for any reason. It's all computer system. Computer spits out a certain list of people that needs to get audited, and then they send out a letter. And then so it's two type of audit. Some of them you don't even have to talk to a person. They send you a letter. They give you a box. They give you a place to send all your documents. Somebody reviews it. If everything looks good, you don't have to talk to somebody. And then there's other audit, which is like a field audit, where they'll have somebody come and meet with you and go over all your documents, or you go to to the IRS office and meet with them. So that's like in-person or field audit. That one they just want to talk to you and understand the business and then interview you. So I'll always encourage you to get a representative to help you, because in those type of audit, everything you say is being listened to, and they use that to judge how you did your return or whatever it is you put in. So us as seasoned professional EA, I'm an enrolled agent. That means I can represent you in front of the IRS or the state. So we know what type of questions and how to answer the questions without incriminating ourselves, right? And then you remember, IRS people are people also. So they're people like you and me. So there's no need to be afraid of them. Just make sure you are doing your job as a business owner in making sure that you know what your rights are. So the rights for any tax preparer is found in publication 1. So anybody can go read that pub. It's available in the irs.gov website. Pub 1 is just the taxpayer right. So it tells you as a taxpayer, this is your right. So you can question the IRS if you don't understand what they're asking for. The the most important thing of an audit is communicating, responding to the correspondence in time, and seeking help early rather than late. The earlier you seek help from a tax professional or a CPA or EA, the better it is that we can help you handle it. You know, that's all I have. I believe that's my time is up, but let me know, guys. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bumi. I really enjoyed this session, especially seeing as you like itemized the things that you want to tell us today. So it actually made my note taking very easy. So thank you so much. And I imagine that our audience actually had a swell time listening to you share all these nuggets with us. Thank you so much. Like I said earlier, Mumi is the founder of JJ Tax LLC, and you can always reach out to her to have some. Maybe you need some advice, or you need some tips, or you just need someone to talk to you professionally. You can reach out to her. I especially enjoyed this session because it was very, very informative. And one thing I learned as an individual is when Bumi said the IRS is not after you. They're not after you. So this is not the time to, should I say, panic. This is not the time to run around. Just reach out to a professional. Let them go through your papers together. And she taught us a lot, like certain tips, like understand the selection process. You have to actually understand the selection process and explain everything. Bumi told us how important it was to actually explain. So don't ever feel like it's you've explained too much. You need to explain everything as important as possible. And also some reasons whereby your business might need this audit process or system. For instance, maybe your business is reporting too many losses, so it doesn't really match up, it doesn't correlate, so it could attract audits to your business and not reporting all of your income. So how do you account for this in your business? How do you account for that in your business? You spent the money, but you didn't account for it. So all these things actually could bring about the need for an audit. So once again, thank you so much, Bumi. This was really great, and I'm sure that you'd honor our invitation if we call you some other time. So thank you so much. Thank you to our audience also for joining in today. This was another wonderful session. And I would just like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel on YouTube as Equitable Development Action. You get all of our materials, our resources, our videos that we have been putting up. So you can also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook and Instagram. at Equitable Development Action. So you can always reach out to us. And if you want to reach out to the team as well, you can reach out to us at provider support at edact.org. It's on the screen below, so you can always reach out to us. Another exciting announcement that we would like to make is the fact that we have a summit coming up, and the team at and all of us at EDA are working so hard to make it worth your while. It's going to have a lineup of exceptional speakers, and it's just going to be a day of learning, a day of networking. You're going to have actually a swell time. You're going to learn a lot, and we're calling it the Rise Summit. So you don't want to miss it, and you can always watch this space for every other detail that we'll be putting out towards this event. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This was great, and we'll be seeing you next week. I am Temi Tope. Thank you for joining us. Bye, everyone. Have a good evening.